Deja Vu stands before you. As you ready your weapons, alert to their presence, they say, "Stay here as my master does his work. Have fun," and you go immediately to strike at the figure of Deja Vu, and as you do, the winds that you create, or the attacks you create, pierce through it, and instead, as the illusion fades away of their face kind of waving ta-ta, in the presence there, you see a skull figure rise up from the ground as it pierces through the earth beneath your feet in this strange sanctum of arcane power. You see its head and its skeletal body as it carries a weird staff-like weapon. It glows and shoots off in a presence of just death and destruction. And Cal, immediately, your senses just pop off. This is an undead being. And it stands there and it screams at you with this undead wail of "Wah!" And first up, and it ready yourself to attack. First up is Duran, followed by the Skull Lord.
Or at least when he thought he was running over to Deja, to shout out the activation word for Firethorn to activate it, and then I'm gonna attack the Skull Lord. It hasn't acted yet, has it?
It has not acted yet, no.
Awesome. So assassination trigger.
He got 23 on his thing, but you're 30.
Oh, you know.
Alright, so you rolled 25. That hits. Roll damage. Yeesh. 27 points of damage. Go ahead and make your next attack.
Did you add sneak attack? I don't know.
No, I didn't add sneak attack yet.
Alright, that's a 20, which hits.
I'll add the sneak attack damage on this one. And then Duran's going to action surge.
Alright.
And he's going to attack again. I'm just going to flavor all these out once I finish them. Oh, and I get to roll one more time because Elven Accuracy. It's a miss.
That's a miss.
And he has one last attack.
27 hits.
And with this one, Duran's going to expend one combat superiority die to give a DC... Where are we at now? DC 17 Wisdom saving throw or get frightened. And also take one more date of damage.
Alright, so... And it's a strength saving throw, you said?
A DC 17 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. He will legendary action. So he rolled a 6, but legendary action will succeed on that.
So Duran just slides in, blade igniting, rise up, Firethorn! And unleashes a salvo of swings, just diving in, spinning his blades like a vertical spinning top, slashing at the skull creature until he lands in front of it, posing in front of his team, ready to soak hits for them. And turn.
Alright. So you run in there immediately, slashing, doing all types of damage. Some of them bounce off of its metal, its plate armor that it's wearing, as it's a fully clad armored skeletal figure. But most of them hitting, striking intense blows, hitting all of the fine points of the skeletal creature, dealing 100 damage onto it. Though it still looks plenty healthy, as it reels and screams at you on its turn. And now it's going to go. It will hold out its hands and start to close its eyes, and as it does, you see the ground begins to shake, and you feel the rumbling beneath your feet. Looking down at it next, you see the earth pop open as it bursts out of the ground. You see 5 skeletal beings pop out at several areas around you, and I'm going to place them all onto the map.
Oh no!
Well, I will say, some of them are skeletons that pile its way out, while some seem to be apparitions that just pull and materialize out of the ground, forming up.
Are they skeletal or cadaver-like?
They are skeletal, and some of them are ghosts, and you recognize it as a banshee. They are
B for banshee.
There's no picture for them. They are 2 banshees and 3 skeletons.
Ew, with their high initiative. Get out of here.
They rolled high.
With their high initiative. Get out of here.
Alright. Can we all see them on the map? Just want to be sure. Alrighty then. Now it will take its normal action, and it will look over towards Duran and not even... Actually, no, it will... You'll see it starts to shimmer and move, and shimmer and shake. And as it does, its body becomes ethereal as it kind of wafts away, teleporting into darkness as it appears further back out. hiding itself behind the trees, looking at its minions. It howls some type of command at it. It goes, "Wow!" And as all the undead creatures look at all you and begin to make their way towards you. And it'll end its turn there. Up next, skeleton number 1 will look at Monako since you're right there and make an attack against Monako. Alright, it's a 15. Alright, so that's a hit. So, doing 13 points of damage with its short sword. So, this undead creature comes up and slashes at you, Monako, as you're pierced with its short sword across your shoulders. And that's all it can do. Up next is skeleton number 2, who will go up towards Cal and also strike at him. 16 versus your AC.
That hits.
Okay, doing 12 points of damage with his slash. Up next is skeleton number 3, who will attack King. 11, which misses. So he goes ahead and strikes you, King, but you are nimble enough to jump out the way, missing his strike. Up next is Horatio Kane.
Seeing the situation that we are currently in, Horatio will begin muttering some arcane words, and his arcane ward kind of starts floating up in front of him, and this like purplish like liquid, arcane liquid, comes out of it and goes above King's head and just kind of ploops down, and it starts begin covering his entire body. And you notice that like it goes right above his skin, and then it kind of dissipates, and it keeps going all the way down to the ground. And once it hits the ground, it spreads out 20 feet, and every other ally of ours that it touches, the arcane goop, begins climbing up and encompassing their whole body as well. And as he casts Kane's Miasma of Protection, and everyone gets +2 AC within 30 feet of King.
It's pretty sweet.
Okay, so you all look on over and see Horatio cast a spell you've never seen him cast before, as he originates this new spell using his vocal and somatic components. This arcane energy goes and protects all of you as his aura of abjuration extends out to all of his allies. All right.
And then I will use my movement to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, 25 feet away from where I was originally at.
Do you pass anyone? No, looks like
I think I step out of the range of the Banshee because I was right next to King, to the right of King.
All right, so the Banshee will take an opportunity attack against you. This is Banshee number 2. And it's her corrupting touch. Natural 1.
Thank you, Dice.
Glad to get that out of the way.
Thank you, Dice.
Try to grab you, and you just jump out the way as she tries to go and grab at you. She's like, ah! Just misses. All right.
That is the end of my turn.
Okay, so after casting your new spell into your allies, bolstering their defenses with your abjuric magic, you run across to the back, hiding yourselves behind the arcane pillar that was King Terminus' throne. Up next is Monako. What do you do with the skeleton straight ahead of you?
Monako mutters some arcane words and quickly blinks, disappearing and reappearing about 20 feet away, using the Far Step spell, and then she lands in a sort of at the start of a pose, which she then starts moving into a dance, and flows with it, activating her vagary and beginning to stone dance her way into stone dance vagary, diamonds ballet, diamonds crush, and she will attempt to trap 4 medium creatures nearby her, hoping to get the Skull Lord and those guys nearby, but I'm not quite sure whether or not, they're all within 20 feet of her.
You go ahead and you rise up. You notice that the Banshees are not caught by the rock, the physicality of the actual rocks, and they continue just to float through it. Though the skeletons, however, who are the skeletons within 20?
Yes. Yeah, Skeleton 3 and the Banshees and the Skull Lord.
Okay, all right. So, skeleton number 3 and the Skull Lord are encased with your diamonds crush as the ground beneath your feet rises up and cracks around them, encasing them and making them restrained.
And as they come out in her dance finishes and she finds herself with about 5 feet of movement left, she uses those 5 feet to stand tall and point her wand at the Skull Lord, and releases a volley of Eldritch bolts, casting Eldritch Blast.
Alright.
Casting once
18 hits.
for
7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. And once more, another bolt comes out, hitting once again with a 24 for 9 points of damage. And the third and final one comes out, hitting again with a 24 for 7 more damage.
Okay. Anything else you wish to do in your turn?
No, that is everything she can do. She dances a little bit more, keeping her movements flowing, trying to keep up the stone's activity, and sort of just moves back 5 feet, but that's it.
Alright, so using your Diamond Crush, able to capture 2 of the 4 foes you were going for, you go ahead and strike with Eldritch Blast at the Skull Lord. It, unable to move out of the way, takes it square into its chest, doing damage, but it looks up, crackling as it screams and howls at you.
She gives it a come at me look.
Alright, up next is King.
I will look around and say to the Skeletal Lord, "You will not defy this land and taint it with your presence and evil doings. This is our land." And as I say that, I'll hold up Caliburn and swing it around, and with that, illusory spectral trees will start to grow. And I call forth the Guardians of the Land, and I will upcast Spiritual Guardians at a 4th level. And because of the mark of the Stellai, a similar aura will radiate from my Stellus Duran, and all these creatures will gonna have to make wisdom saving throws.
Alright, go ahead and target him.
Just can't get the Skull Lord, but that's alright. As the Guardians appear, unicorns start to run through the spectral trees and forests I've created as the fog-like miasma rolls around, and the unicorns bash into these creatures, hopefully
The unicorns got some miasma on them too, because they're allies.
doing that much damage to them. And since I can only cast 1 spell per turn, and I don't have a bonus action cantrip, I will stand tall and hold and pass my turn.
Alright, so you go ahead using your... And what level did you cast that?
4th.
4th. Let me write that down. There's another gray hair appears in Draenose. The Banshee 1 is bombarded by the spectral unicorns as it's like, ah! It will look on over towards King, and I will need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
16, but I'm going to add my favored by the gods. Favored by Myliki, and... Oh, do I?
And add 4.
Yeah, then I don't know if I need it with the 20. I already said I'm going to do it. Plus his 4, so 24.
So as the creature wails and screams at you, you feel the pieces of your soul being stretched out. You're able to stay up against the death wail, but your mind is befuddled by the screams, and you take
Some damage.
12 points of damage. But it will end its turn after... Well, will end its turn after not being able to kill you with his wail, and not really able to move much because of the Spiritual Guardians.
And that was the save for Spiritual Guardians.
Alright, so 23, yes, you are able to keep Spirit Guardians up. Up next is Banshee number 2, so go ahead and roll your effect as is within the Spirit Guardians.
Spirit Guardian.
Alright, it failed. What is your spell DC?
19!
Alright, so with an 18, it does not meet, and doing 22 points of damage, the Banshee will still float up, and next to Duran, start to wail and scream. Duran, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
And make sure
Make sure to put 4 in your modifier.
I have a question. Since they're in the range of both,
They only get affected by 1.
Ugh.
It's more like it extends it, not. 27. Alright, so you are not killed as it wails at you with its scream. And you're so familiar with it. You've been wailed at several times by these. But you do take damage. 11 points of psychic damage.
Oh, my brain.
What was that?
Oh, my brain.
All right, so they will end their turn there, and it's Cal's turn. You're up.
All right. The first thing we're going to do is start dancing and activate my ability to teleport up to 30 feet away from me. With my vagary, I'm going to get into my war dance-like poses, moving forcefully within the first 5 feet of the space around me until I move without invoking opportunity to be almost point-blank range next to Horatio. I then will pull up my magical revolvers, one in each hand, and start shooting at the Skull Lord. I would like to use... I kind of grit my teeth down and squint with one eye as it lights up, giving myself advantage using a grit
You already have
point,
advantage, letting
which-
you know, because he is restrained due to Monaco's.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, even better then. I won't use the grit point, but I will fire off a round.
22.
22 hits, and I'm going to use a 3rd level spell slot of Divine Smite. So, 2nd, 3rd,
All right, you
undead.
did your extra damage for the being undead, you said?
Yeah, and that's the regular magic pistol
Oof,
damage.
Major amount of damage. All right.
And keeping that up, I'm going to fire off another shot, kind of rapidly, knowing that I have this thing at a disadvantage. I'm not going to back down, and I'm going to aggressively fire this thing.
20 hits. Roll that damage.
And I'm going to use another 3rd level smite.
All right, doing another 34 points of damage onto this Skull Lord.
And I will use my bonus to attack one more time, firing off in almost a blind rage at all of the lying that's been going on in front of Cal, and the subterfuge, and now deja vu, like giving the slip again, just falling into another false reality of things. Cal's just starting to unwind a little bit from being completely balanced and poised in the situation. 21 hits, unleashing a 2nd level Divine Smite on this
Unleash
thing.
it.
Dealing, what was that, 21?
Indeed, yes. As you blast it with a volley of divine energy, you see your holy energies just burning off on this undead creature as it screams in pain, one shot after another. Is there anything else you wish to do this turn?
I will pass my turn, because that is my bonus and my attacks. I could do one other thing. Is that other thing that we were talking about like a bonus action type thing, or is that like a full action? I think it might have been a full action.
It's
Yeah,
full action,
yeah,
like if
you're
you're
right.
shooting someone.
So, yeah, that'll be it.
All right. Up next, our top of the round is Duran. Surrounded by the 2 banshees, what do you wish to do?
Duran reevaluates his targets, and Duran's going to spend a 2nd combat superiority die to activate his other combat maneuver to give himself a bonus to AC equal to this combat superiority D8 roll I'm rolling right now. 4. So on top of Horatio's +2, I've got a temporary +4 to AC till I stop moving. And Duran is going to move 5 feet this way, 5 feet this way.
They will take opportunity attacks against you.
Awesome.
All 3 of them?
Let them go for it.
All 3 of them. So first we'll start off with the banshees, 1 and 2.
Right now my AC is a 25.
All right, 22 misses. Ooh, that was almost a nat 20. 12 misses, and the skeleton, natural 1. So you all try to make attempts against you, but they just block off of your armor and your quick ability to move and dodge and dash across. And you make your way to the side of Monaco. What do you do next?
Then once Duran gets there, he's going to run up the tree next to Monaco and kind of push off of it to dive back past them to get into a combat superiority position using 5, 10, 15 feet more feet of movement to get right here. He's going to attack skeleton number 3.
All right, roll that attack. All right, that's a 20. Yeah, that hits. Roll that damage. All right, striking down onto the skeleton, it bursts into dust as it falls into the ground into pieces. Well, it bursts into dust, dissipating and blowing into the wind.
Then Duran's going to make a 2nd attack against Banshee number 1.
26 hits.
And he uses bonus action to attack that Banshee again.
All right, a 14 does hit. Do another 18 points of damage. Nice. Anything else you wish to do this turn?
Duran points, since I have the steel eye, connection with King. Duran can sense some magic. Can he sense the magic coming from the throne?
Oh yeah, and soon as so you definitely you would have always sensed it. So you, for all intents and purposes, you are trained in Arcana in the sense that you can just normally sense Arcana as long as you're around King.
Horatio, use the throne. Let's get past these monsters and go save these people. And that's the end of Duran's turn.
All right, the Skull Lord will rip its way through, taking, and since it's piercing damage, it is have 4 points of damage. Actually, I think it's immune to that. Let me just double check. No, it's not. Just halved. All right, taking 4 points of damage, and it will move back into the bushes as it now becomes covered and hidden. Although you can pretty much see where it is.
Is it fully covered?
Actually, it's not going to do that yet. Instead, it will look on over to Monako, since Monako, you are closer, and point a finger at you. His finger will begin to glow a black necrotic energy around it, and a beam will shoot out towards your direction. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
I would like to counterspell that.
Go right ahead.
Without even skipping a beat, I notice this black necrotic energy, and subtly casting counterspell, a flower will just bloom and just block it and wither and die in its place, absorbing the energy. And do I have to roll?
Yes, you do.
Natural 20 for a 31.
Ridiculous. As the blast comes out, and it was a high level blast, it fizzles out and dissipates as the creature looks angry. It begins to walk back into the shadows, completely covered by trees and other things. I see is hiding to try again later. But he still gets another chance to do another spell, a cantrip, so he will actually do that first. All right. Before stepping over there, he will look angry and then shoot a firebolt over at Monako in the last attempt to attack.
Horatio will counterspell it.
All right.
As the firebolt flies out, the miasma kind of jumps up and just swallows it.
All right, Skeleton 1 is up after taking a barrage from your unicorns. It crashes and turns into dust, and it is killed. All right, Skeleton 2 should do the same thing, I believe. All right, taking a heavy amount of damage, it will walk up towards Cal and attempt to attack him. Did you already raise your AC?
Oh, yes.
Okay, just checking. All right, so the first attack, or the only attack, 16, which
Not this time.
misses. So it just kind of crackles with his bones, swinging its short sword at you. It slashes down, but you manage to bounce off using the ability of Horatio's ability to shield you. Up next is Horatio.
Hearing Duran say use the throne, and knowing that the ley lines are magical, can I stand right here and see if I can harness the power of the ley lines to cast an ability? I will be casting Scorching Ray.
Come on, Archon!
And I'm going to target, let me make sure I'm not targeting anyone. Okay. I'm going to target the skeleton number 2 with the first one, and I'm upcasting it at a level 4. So that gives me 2 additional bolts, if I'm not mistaken, right?
What spell you?
Scorching Ray.
Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray, when you upcast it, you get to create 1 additional ray for each level.
Yeah, so
you did to 4, so 2 more.
So I'll get 2 more. So I'm going to, it's a total of 5.
So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to roll me a intelligence saving throw.
Ooh, I haven't gotten to use this in forever.
Go, Horatio, go. Go, Horatio, go.
That is a 25.
25. Okay. Horatio, as you go and sit into the king's throne, the moment that you do, immediately your tattoos turn on themselves automatically, shifting into your Archon of Peace mode. As the energy flares up, the ley lines begin to boil and bubble up and begin to change. They were like this blue essence, this blue hue as they were before, but now they turn into a bright white light. As the energies shoot up, your tattoos, your hair stands up, so the bun that it was so carefully placed in burns away as it just kind of stands up once again, and your clothes starts to begin to rip up from the sheer amount of power you're now harnessing, sitting into the arcane chair that is King Terminus's throne. As you do so, you're just fluctuated with just images and things flowing into your mind, and you know if you didn't roll, if your mind wasn't so learned and you weren't so strong of mind, your mentality would have shattered, leaving you possibly brain dead from all this information that's going to your head. Immediately, it finally focuses and you can see the battlefield, not from where you are right now, but from an overhead view, noticing everything. No longer is the Skull Lord hidden from your view, as the ley lines wrap all around this place, and you can feel that every part of the ley lines, every part of this entire city, stretching out even beyond the city of Thelos. Just as you stretch, you can feel everything, and everything. Your mind shifts for a moment, and you can see the outside of Thelos. You can see the armies of the undead that are pushing its way into the capital, into the Great District, as it's slaughtering the people who are within. You see King Terminus making his way there, flying just at exuberant speeds, going across trying to meet them there, and all different types of Unity Knights just either destroying the undead and felling them. And there are massive undead creatures here. Undead creatures as you've never seen before, as you witness it all through the canals that the water was. You're connected to that, and then you're just part of Thelos itself. Finally able to get yourself back into the battlefield where you are now. You can go ahead and make all of your attacks against them at advantage, and they will crit. So that'll be 22 against skeleton number 2 hits. So go ahead and hold shift and roll your attack against it.
Yes, sir. Alright.
Oh man, that 25. Ooh, I was hoping you roll low, and I'm like,
Horatio dies.
And he shatters to pieces.
Skeleton number 2 just explodes into nothing but dust as you all see the ley lines, their white light shine up and slam down onto it, and you all kind of like duck past away because between where you're stepping all that or where the ley lines are, and they just come up out of the ground, out of their pool and or their river-like canal, and strike and destroy skeleton number 2. Go ahead and continue your hits with the Scorching Ray.
So I still got
5.
I got 4 more left because I used one just now. Alright, so advantage cast. That's a hit. That's 13 points of damage, and then I will cast another one.
Did you crit it?
Yeah, I did crit it. It was 13, and that is 18. An 18 to hit.
All right, 18 hits. Go ahead and roll that damage. Make sure you crit it.
That is 9. Oh, well, 4 because it's resistant. And seeing that it's resistant, can I target the Skull Lord without having disadvantage?
Correct.
So I will shift my view towards him and use the last 2 that I have left. That is a 24.
That hits. Roll
That
damage.
is 8 points of damage. 2 ones. And then another hit, another roll for hit. That is a 19.
That hits.
And that is 12 points of damage. Oh, and because I went into Archon of Peace mode, now I have +2 more AC and +2 to all saving throws.
All right. So, Horatio, as you jump into there and witness all of the world around you, your mind even so went off past Thelos to places you've never seen before. Your mind even stretched into the Black Kingdom as you went in there seeing demons, but everything happened so fast that it'll definitely take you time to process all the information. Is this what King Terminus goes through all the time? This is something that he has to handle every day, every second. Your body even mixes in with the symphony itself. Like, you can feel like you don't see a crystal here, or maybe you are the crystal, you're not sure. Everything is happening, but able to finally piece it together, you strike with your Scorching Rays, blasting each of the undead beings that are in front of you and your allies, one by one. Some of them deflecting from the arcane power that is your Scorching Ray, but some of them taking the full brunt of the blast, dissipating, turning into dust as you're in control. But your mind is continuing to race further and further, and you don't know how long you'll be able to maintain this if you remain seating in this throne. Anything else you wish to do this turn?
Yeah, no, as that is happening, and he kind of just takes a quick moment to study everything and then gets off because it feels like it's too much to handle, and steps off of the throne and is just breathing, like taking deep breaths as he's experienced all of that. And that's going to be the end of my turn.
All right. Up next is Monako.
Monako will, seeing this, use Far Step once again, blinking as a bonus action, not towards the Skull Lord or to get a better angle on it, but rather to go next to Horatio, who she appears next to. She leans down to him and says, "That was incredible. Are you okay?" And then puts her hand on him, and will cast guidance on him.
Okay.
I'm alright. Thank you.
And that's it for Minako.
All right, so Minako, teleporting and shifting over towards Horatio, you place your hands on him, giving him that guidance. And Horatio, you feel that extra connection, to is in the feeling that she puts onto you. It's both strange with her connecting to Nyx and her power deriving from the burning hand, and you feel all of it, but you know for sure exactly what this is, as you and Minako share a special connection. Up next is King.
I am going to hold Caliburn in front of me and start to spin and twirl it around, and then I'll come to a position where I'm holding it in front of me, and I'll push it forward and sort of shake out a spiritual version of it, and I'll cast Spiritual Weapon just at a 2nd level, and I'll put it on the other side of Banshee number 1, and I will make an attack against Banshee number 1. 22.
That hits.
I will do 14 points of force damage.
All right. What else do you wish to do?
Hoping that it would have been destroyed, but knowing that there's a greater threat, I'll turn my sights towards the Skull Lord in the forest skulking, and I'll start to spin Caliburn again. And as I do, I'll give it a great twirl, and I'll sort of throw this whirling spear, and as I let it go, it fractures into 5 pieces as I activate the animate Caliburn effect, and the 5 chunks of the spiritual weapon will fly towards the Skull Lord in the forest, right? As I use its new effect.
Okay. So they have the effect of similar to animate object, so they'll have to be able to, you have to see and to strike them. But you can't quite see where the Skull Lord is because he's fully covered.
Well, shouldn't there be a trail of fire since the ley lines lit up?
No, the ley lines died, and you got off, and the ley lines have now went back to their own position. I thought you were going to stay on it, but...
Yeah, no, I ain't trying to lose my mind.
And, okay, so I will...
But they're still around you floating, so you can control them.
So is it a disadvantage to attack him?
For full cover...
Or I can't even target him?
So cannot be targeted directly with an attack or spell.
Okay, so then I will just then have the pieces swirl around and try and finish off the banshees in front of me. And I will first target this one. There's 5 attacks. The first one missed, the second one hits, doing 6 points of damage. The third one misses. The fourth one third one and fourth one misses, and the 5th one also hits.
Okay.
For 6 more points of damage.
Okay. So, finally using Caliburn's ability, you break it into its several pieces as it flies around like daggers swirling around you. You go ahead, looking at the banshees, to strike with their magical might. And as they do, they can remain hovering next to wherever you wish to put them. Next to the foe that they struck, waiting for your next command. Anything else you wish to do this turn?
That's my action and bonus, and I'll stay where I am.
Alright, up next is the Banshee, who can no longer wail since it failed, but instead will attack King. Actually, what they'll do, because they're pretty intelligent, even though it's putting them at a disadvantage.
The first one it takes, actually, it's...
Oh, yes. Go ahead and make those... Alright, go ahead and roll that effect onto them, please.
Spiritual guardians.
Alright, they failed. Ooh, taking 24 points of damage as your spectral unicorns pierce through it with its magic. You hear as the Banshee falls down to the ground. Well, dissipates into nothingness and dust as it has been defeated. So it does not get a turn. But Banshee 2, same thing.
Gallop!
Succeeded. Go ahead and roll that. Right, taking 9 points of damage, which was half from the 18. It continues to make its move up towards you. This one is dead. And it will make its attack Actually, he doesn't really have to move now. Alright, so Banshee 2 will make its attack. That's a 21, doing another 10 points of damage. And then it will... has half of its movement. Yeah, it won't make it far away. So just going to stay there, kind of just continue to swipe at you. And with a concentration check, a natural 20, you succeed in keeping up your spiritual warriors of unicorns. Up next is Cal. What do you wish to do?
I would like to keep up with my vagary and move very, very quickly to the top of the tree that the Skull Lord is hiding behind.
Alright, so you're going to attempt to climb up the tree?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of it like I'm moving so quickly that I kind of lift off of the ground with one leg, kind of like I would be like going up for like a layup in basketball, and then my next leg catches a branch or a knot in the trunk, and I kind of like half run, half climb up the tree to get my position.
Alright, roll me an acrobatics check or athletics, your choice.
That is an 8.
8. Alright, so you try to go to make your way towards it, and you're moving so fast, and you begin, with your lightning speed, running across, you go up and hop onto the tree branch. But unfortunately, that branch breaks underneath your weight, and as it cracks, you fall back. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw to see if you land prone or land on your feet.
Cal's got this.
24.
24, okay. Yeah, you land on your feet, able to catch yourself as you see the branch broke, but it did use up 5, 10, 15, 20 feet of your movement.
And I still can't see the Skull Lord?
Correct. You know he's there. You can hear him breathing and all
Yeah.
that, but he's completely covered behind the trees and the branches.
I guess I get point blank range up like next to him. Like I'm gonna use the last of my movement and just be standing next to him, even if he's in cover.
Okay.
I'm going to Pulp Fiction style take my revolvers and point blank start shooting. My eyes light up as I speak the words to gain the advantage with Kalemvor. I'm going to channel Kalemvor into my shot. Oh, that should have an additional 10. So that would be 25.
25. Okay. Alright, so that is going to be a hit then.
Alright. I'm going to activate my Divine Smite at second level with this shot. So that is the gun, the actual bullet damage that I rolled first, and then the Divine Smite.
Oof, 24 points. As a reaction after you hit him, you strike him with it, and you start to, his head turns around to the side. As he looks back at you, it begins to glow this purplish hue as he lets loose out of his mouth a swarm of purple mist that encompasses your entirety. And I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw. 14 fails, unfortunately.
Okay.
So you're stricken with the poison. So you take 2d12 of
That's
poison
fine.
damage.
Is he like doing that in like response to the first attack?
Yes. It's,
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You can continue out the
No
your
problem,
move,
no
but he
problem.
does so 2d12. 23, wow, an 11
Yep.
and a 12.
Yep, that happens.
23 points of damage, and you are poisoned.
That's fine. That's an afterthought.
So let me go ahead and apply the poison effect on you. Alright. But in any case, you can continue your
Yes,
turn.
I'm going to fire another shot with my second attack. This time, seeing that this thing has regular movement again and that it got itself back into this corner, I'm going to squint one eye and grit my teeth in disgust as I unload lead into this undead being.
Alright. Oof. Sending more and more of your divine energy into this creature with its undead nature taking effect. It continues to be blasted by it, taking massive amount of damage, and is starting to look a little weaker, though its eyes are still glowing its bright red glow as it looks on over to you, ready to strike back. Anything else you wish to do this
Yes,
turn?
I actually have an action surge that I'd like to use and just kill this thing with.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my action surge, and with the last 2 shots in my magic pistols, unleash both of them one at a time at this thing. Oh, that was not. Yep.
Oh, you did not even attack. Well, let's see
why
if you
did it
hit.
do that? Oh, I have disadvantage.
Because you're
Oh.
poisoned. Alright, it doesn't matter anyway, because a 21
All
hits.
right. and I'm going to use a first level smite, and I'll use the second attack, and oh no, it's a natural one.
And the gun gets jammed as you try to go. You go make the shot you put the gun right into the face of the skull monster. As you do, you just hear poof, and it kind of shoots off, and parts of it break as the mystical pistol is damaged from the misfire.
Damn it. Okay.
That hasn't happened.
That
in a
has
while.
not happened in a while.
Right.
Unfortunately. So yeah, that'll be my turn.
So Cal running up there, zipping up, you try to make the retreat, but it breaks, but you do make it towards him and get point blank, your specialty. Taking those shots after another with your divine weapon, you strike. Unfortunately, the last one just gets seized up with divine energy, and like the dust stays into it as it explodes into your hand, broken. And now you're face to face with this foe that snarls at you and screams. Up next is top of the round, Duran. You look on over and see Cal is just somewhere hidden in the trees. And then Banshee going after King, making strikes at him as they're in a volley back and forth. What do you do?
Duran is going to just run past. He's going to kind of run around and cover King's flank, and then position himself on the other side of the Banshee.
All right, you have advantage.
Oops, on target. We're fighting. Now he's going to swing it with his Fire Thorn.
That is a hit.
He's going to swing.
13
again.
points of damage. Don't forget to swing again because you have advantage.
I just did. Oh, with my advantage swing. Oh, I didn't even bother. I just swung with the second
You
one
might
of my
get
attack.
you might get a nat 20.
Okay. Can we just count that second one as it?
Sure. And then now you can roll twice.
And I can roll advantage on the next one. Swinging for my second attack.
26 hits. Roll that damage. 14 more points of damage
Don't forget sneak attack.
And then with his... Oh, yeah.
with an additional 7 from sneak attack.
And then he gets one more attack with his bonus action.
18 hits. Roll that damage.
Duran just swings this flurry of blade blows with each strike Fire Thorn exploding in a plume of fire. And that's my turn.
All right. Duran, you're slashing with your flaming scimitar. You go after another defending King from this Banshee as you hear it wail in pain, taking blow after blow from you. Up next is the Lord of Skulls, who is going to... Okay, so he will do one of two things. First, he will make his way through the... No, actually, no. He has full cover here, so he'll... Alright, he will whip out his bone staff that he has and make several attacks against Cal, who's there before him.
Oh, crud.
You're too far away from my miasma, Cal.
Yeah, make sure you lower your AC to whatever it is due to the miasma no longer being on you. But the first strike, 27.
That hits.
Alright, doing 23 points of damage. The next strike, 20, doing 21 points of damage. And then his third strike,
OMG, if you go down, you're gonna get turned into a zombie.
natural 20.
Don't die! No! Oh my god, no!
No!
Has somebody used their lucky to make them reroll or something?
Not unless it's on us.
Oh, no, we can't see him.
Yeah, you don't even know.
Ones. Nothing but ones.
40 points of damage.
Yep.
Darn it!
That's it. I fall to the ground.
Alright, so as you are struck by this bone staff, it begins to glow as he hits you back and forth with it, one after another, until finally landing you with a death blow right into your chest as he stabs you with the pointing of it, piercing it through into your heart and pulling it out. You feel the necrotic energy just convulse onto you as you begin to shake and shudder and fall into the ground, knocked unconscious. His turn is not done yet. He will then scream over at you with this, and then use his movement, stepping over your body, getting back into the corner he was before. He will look at the Banshee. He won't do that. He will look at King instead, and move his finger up as it begins to, his index finger's up as you see a ball of red flame start to glow on it, and he tosses it over towards King.
Counter
Do we see
spell.
this?
Yeah, you can see it. He stepped out to do it.
Can it be counterspelled?
Oh yeah, you could totally counterspell it.
Yes.
And it is, well, all right. So you counterspell, and he looks on over to you after you go and counterspell, fizzling out the flames on his fingers, hisses, and he sets back into his pull.
Don't you get something because you're in your Archon mode? when
I
you
am
counterspell?
arcane deflection, but he is within 60 feet of me.
Yes. Mhm.
So he takes my wizard level is 13. He takes 13 force damage.
Okay. Forgot about that.
Yay!
He's looking really hurt. So after you go ahead and he goes ahead and shoots over this fireball, this blast of fire over at you. Quickly seeing it, you counterspell it. Your tattoos begin to turn and twist and form into a weird shape as the energy all points towards the Skull Lord. Catching the energy, you thrust it back, and all you feel a wave of abjuration magic hit over you until it coalesces into one type of spear-like energy, striking the undead creature into his chest, blasting it back as it hits the wall behind it, taking 13 points of damage. It will then, in pain, walk its way back and hide in the bushes once again. Up next is Horatio.
Horatio will take a deep breath again and go back on the throne.
Playing this Game of Thrones, are we?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And
All right, so as the game goes, roll me that intelligence saving throw.
I have a D4 from Monaco.
Yes, you do. Wait, does it count towards saving throws? I don't think guidance does.
I thought.
No, it's
No,
for
ability
different
checks.
one.
I was mistaken.
Oh shit! I thought guidance was ability checks and saving throws. That's fine.
No, I thought it was an ability check. The throne would be an ability check.
27.
27. Even higher than before. Once again, you're sitting into the seat and your mind pierces out again. You see that the battle is continuing. King Terminus has arrived to the battlefield, and you just see him almost like Gandalf, just slamming down his staff and just destroying all of the undead in a holy fury that of theurgy that he's using. Blasting them back off, just one after another, and you hear him, and he's not laughing like he was before using magic. Now he seems dead serious, just blasting them back, these abominations, one by one. Your mind continues, shoots off as it goes places bit by bit. And your mind even stretches even further, going into the borders that of Shiverin, where things start to get hazy, but you definitely feel a dark malice within the Shiverin that seems to be pushing back your mind, reaching to the ley lines, but you managed to pull it back together. Your mind once again not torn apart by this, and you have the ability to cast your magic through the ley lines.
Okay. Now with that, I can see this guy, right? Because of the ley lines.
Because of the ley lines, yep, you have full. He's like literally ley lines are everywhere that you can see everywhere. Obviously, there are bigger places where the ley lines are, where they don't branch off that you can see clearly. But you're close enough to the center where you can see everything in this entire area. Nothing's out of your vision.
Okay. And I will then, at using my 7th level slot, I will fire off a disintegrate towards him. So I guess he has to make a saving throw, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. What kind of saving throw? You want to select him and hit the effect?
Yes. I have him selected. So he fails.
Legendary action. He will choose to succeed.
Okay. So this is being upcasted, and when I upcast...
Did you say it was being upcasted, or you're now saying it now?
No, I said I'm casting it at the 7th level. It's a 6th level
okay.
spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He did say 7th level.
Okay.
So I add 3 more d6.
Describe your killing blow.
So I sit on the throne, and as I'm getting this look, I kind of look towards where he's at. Can I sense that Cal is down?
You can sense everything.
So I'm like,
yes.
To King in front of me, I would say, Cal needs assistance, he's down. And you guys will see the disintegrate kind of travel through the ley line, and instead of hitting him straight, it just shoots up. And he begins to turn into dust. As when the disintegrate goes away, it's just a pile of dust where he was once standing.
Oh, is the effects of the throne on Horatio obviously deleterious?
You can't tell.
Okay.
You can sit on the throne and find out. but Horatio, as you look over at Horatio and see that he's once again starting to glow into it, I would say even so, since you're using such a powerful ability, your aspect shifts into the aspect of power as you start to glow, and then instead of this white energy coming from the ley lines start to look this hot molten red lava like color that blast up shaking the ground beneath, and as a whole wave of energy shoots up from the corner, and you all look and see that's where the Cal had went with the Skull Lord. It shoots up to the sky as you all see like it's form into a spear, shooting down directly up. The Skull Lord looks up, covering his face and body with his hands, trying to deflect it. He does hold it back, casting an ability up, but the shield that he casted breaks and shatters. As it does and spreads, it hits directly onto his chest, piercing through his body as the pieces, his head, his chest, his legs, everything starts to disintegrate, turning into nothingness as the dust around him begins to spin and furl, going into the ley lines and just melting, disintegrating. Immediately, Horatio, you feel everything that this creature had felt before, who it was when it lived. It was a powerful sorcerer that was killed many, many years ago, and it had a retribution to uphold. Revenge against the rulers of Thelos at that time, or this area before it became Thelos, you're not sure. And finally able to seek its revenge, bringing back from the dead by some type of divine entity. It followed its commands so that its revenge could be set and it can achieve it. But you have disintegrated, turning into nothing as it finally is at peace. Its soul going into the ley lines, following back, going to wherever the energy of the ley lines flows to. And you feel completely exhausted as you fall off. Using it twice to this degree, you immediately fall off of the throne, and it's as if you had casted haste and it wore off. You're just lethargic and your energy has dissipated as you go back to your normal mode. Your hair falls back down, your clothes finally stop shifting in the wind that's of your energy, and you fall lethargic. And the battle is over. Since the person who created it has been destroyed, the Banshee fades away as well.
Minako will do her best to help prevent Horatio from funking too hard.
I will then drop the spiritual guardians and reform Caliburn and run over to Cal, and I will hold Caliburn over him, and with it I will call forth a purifying energy and touch the spear of the unicorn staff to his head, and let the energy flow from within the spear to him, using 2 points because he looks sickly and poisoned, so I'll let a lesser restoration wash over him, as well as giving him a cure wounds up to 4th level.
All right. So Cal, you're imbued with the power of Myloki, and you waken up, breathing, gasping for air as you're brought back to life and receive consciousness once again.
Thank you, King.
Are you all right?
I'll be fine. And I lay on hands myself for 45.
Okay.
I'll offer you a hand up to help you off the ground.
You see Horatio kind of just breathing heavily and like kind of sweating a little bit, and using the staff to kind of just lean on it as you know what Monaco's doing.
She helps him stand up, and then asks if he's going to be okay. Deja was trying to keep us distracted for a reason.
Yeah, we need to get moving.
How do we get out of here?
DM, would I know how to get out of here?
Are there any other things in this room, though? We cannot leave any undead in this sacred place.
Well, you would know, Horatio, just for being connected. Roll me a normal intelligence check at advantage. You're trying to make sense of everything. You have more knowledge than you can ever imagine, and just with your keen mind alone is the only reason why you're able to make this save, this check.
I got a 20.
Okay, a dirty 20. You know that when the ley lines led out through the door, you still sense the magic on the door, but your only exit seems to be through that way through the doorway that you all had entered from, though it's definitely spelled still.
Horatio, where do we need to go?
We have to go through that door. It's the only way out, but I believe it's locked.
Where are we needed in the city?
The king was fighting in the Great District. He seemed to be making quick work of him, but it was a lot.
Is that where you want to go?
I feel that's the best place to go.
Come here. Come close to me. And as everyone gets next to me, I'll look towards you all and I'll say, with this word I return us home to place of sanctuary, Kal Rashar, and I'll activate my 6th level spell, Word of Recall, and take the 6 of us, or the 5 of us, to the Dust District, Elven Sanctuary, immediately, so that way we're halfway there.
Okay. What level spell is that?
6.
6.
I've done a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and that's now a 6th level spell.
Got it.
Thanks.
So you go ahead and grab everyone, and as the wind starts to furl around you, as you Kal Rashar, the word, the image of this sanctuary starts to fade away as you're all brought into the blackness. And as you're shifted through, images just flash by. It's too fast for any of you to make out until finally you settle. Your body finally plants directly into the enchanted forest that was the Dust District. Back into that place of power for the Prolepsy. You stand there all together, exhausted, as you hear the sound of mayhem just echoing throughout deeper into. Even from here, you can hear there's sounds of explosions and screams happening throughout the town. In which direction, not sure, because you're like right in the middle there, but you do definitely hear it. And with that, we will take a break.
Yay.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah. Great work, guys.
Nice fighting, Kyle.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening.
Hey everybody, we are the Natural Ones, a Dungeons & Dragons comedy cast that takes place in the Roselands, an original fantasy world and a land slipping into chaos as the players try to do their best in keeping things in check. Sort of. Join players Jerry, Pat, and Aiden as they roll their way out of whatever Dungeon Master Zektown puts in front of them. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Google Play, and wherever else you find your podcasts. Find us on Twitter at TheNat1SCast. Again, that's TheNat1SCast. We are a proud founding member of the A Tale of D20's podcast network.